Looks like total on this one, so I'll say the spread again. Texas is 7-point favorite away in Ann Arbor at Michigan. Total is 44 on this one. What are you thinking about it?
So Michigan in the first game, pretty underwhelming effort against Fresno State. They were only up 6 points in the fourth quarter and eventually pulled away a win by 20. But again, defending national champs against Fresno State, not what you want to see. Um, I think Michigan is in big trouble this year. Obviously, no Mr. Stallions doing his reconnaissance.
Yes.
But I really think they were expecting Alex Orji to step up and get the starting job. Instead, under center, they got former walk-on Davis Warren. Orji is more dual threat. Warren is more of a pocket passer. And they really invested again in that running game, beefing up the offensive line. Presumably just to, stuff it down your throat like they did last year to an extent with Corum. But they also had a pretty good guy, JJ McCarthy,
Yep.
Who was able to throw the ball. When you have Davis Warren back there and you remove that dual threat, things change. And they really didn't invest in the wide receiver position. They brought back two guys who caught 40 balls combined last year. So I think Michigan's in big trouble. Meanwhile, your guys, UT, they looked awesome against Colorado State. Got their money's worth, paying them $1.8 million to come out to Austin and
But for a little while, did that impact your Mountain West background? Were you quietly rooting for Colorado State really hard to get within 52 points?
I only root for Mountain West teams when the Mountain West conference game starts, and I always root for the home team.
Got it. All right. Well,
Yeah,
we've got a few months until that begins. Okay.
yeah.
So, I mean,
But yours looked awesome.
Is it 52-0 win against Colorado State? Like, what does that say? Is it just okay, one of those things, let's move on and to the real game coming up? Because like a blowout win there is helpful and it's nice to get Arch some play as well. But I don't know really what that says about this Texas.
Well, I mean, they took care of business. There's teams that did the same strategy. Michigan won, was unimpressed. We'll get to this game later, but Oregon against Idaho, 2-touchdown win. So, I mean, you take care of business on your home field when you're paying another team to get in there. And that's what they did. Yours was getting his Patrick Mahomes on with a no-look pass. I thought Arch did a good job coming in. But listen, I mean, Texas is a monster. They returned 4 out of 5 guys on their offensive line from last year. They did lose some in the receiver position, but filled that pretty well with transfers headlined by Isaiah Bond from Alabama. And yeah, the run defense is amazing. I mean, this is a team that ended the season, I think, ranked top 3 in yards allowed on the ground. They did lose some, muscle on the defensive line, but I think they plugged the holes pretty well through the transfer portal. So I, for once, am very high on Texas this year. I do not expect a letdown. They proved me wrong last year. And I think Texas is going to be able to shut down that Michigan run game. I think they'll be able to shut them down. I don't think Michigan is going to be able to keep up with them offensively. Yes, the Michigan defense is solid, but I think Texas has more than enough firepower to pull away in this one. I'm going with hook 'em -7.
Yeah, I think it's to me it feels like the price was a little surprising to see a 7-point favorite away. Certainly some positive vibes, I guess, coming out of a big home win against Colorado State is helpful versus Michigan struggling. It's honestly, I used to go to the biggest road game every season. Like I said, I would be in Ann Arbor if I wasn't across the pond. And I got to say, that's been a stumbling spot, a really tough area for Texas in the past to go to a road game, whether it was at Cal, at Notre Dame, things of that nature, at USC. This is clearly the big one before you get ready for SEC play, which honestly, I wonder if these games are going to serve as strength of schedule boosts as opposed to needing to win these games. But of course, if Texas does have desires to win a national championship or make another playoff berth, though very different with 12 teams versus 4, then certainly that will be meaningful. I'm wondering, and I think my biggest interest in this game is seeing what the Texas defensive line looks like. Devandre Sweat was so important to UT last year, now playing for Tennessee Titans. I don't know necessarily like what type of loss that is, if that's a plug and play type of position, because to me, the trenches are where a lot of these games are won. And without Harbaugh there, of course, that's going to change what Michigan wants to do. But I imagine at home, replacing a quarterback with a really big hyped team coming off of a college football playoff performance. I feel like Michigan might be a little bit more conservative, as that's kind of what been their nature for a while. But they're going to try to run the ball a lot, and so we'll see what happens there. I think to that end, we might see a lot of clock runs this entire game. So I'll go under 44 for my pick.